there. Get out there.
Look, can I first of all say, I truly believe the reason Key and Will have been very successful is because of the nuggets that you shared with us very early on and that you've shared just with so many people. All right.
The reason you guys have been so successful is not because of me. It's because you guys trusted the process and you invested in yourself before you ever made a dime in the business. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand, that if you can't afford a coach, you can't afford not to have a coach.
That's right.
That's the biggest thing. If you can't afford a coach, that means that you can't afford not to have a coach, because a coach is going to get you there faster.
Welcome back, you guys, to Key and Will's podcast, The More You Know. We are so excited. We are so excited to have a special guest in the building today.
Yo, she's listen, everybody been asking when you gonna get Maja Sly on the podcast.
I think you might be overselling it a bit.
When? I said, she's coming. Relax, everybody.
Oh, is that what happened?
So listen, Maja Sly is in the building, everybody.
Is there going to be applause?
Yes.
Absolutely. We love you, Maja.
Oh, I love you guys back.
you.
But I was trying to wait. I was like, child, when am I going to get an invitation? So just so we're clear, this was my first invitation. I didn't know that I did not know I was in such high demand and requested.
It was understood, you guys.
Oh, okay.
It was totally understood. You know, some things just don't even need to be said. They don't even need to be said. But you know, I want to introduce you properly.
Okay.
Because you deserve it. You deserove it.
And listen, we're so excited. We got our champagne.
Cheers,
cheers.
We only have a coaching relationship. These are my drinking buddies.
Yo, this is going to be an amazing episode.
Yes, so make sure you guys
Key,
stay tuned in.
Let's do the formal introduction.
Formal. Originally from Panama City, Florida. She's from the South, like me, an entrepreneur, business coach, real estate broker. Maja actually became a realtor in 2001 after buying her first property, her first real property for herself. She went on to sell 44 homes in her very first year of being a realtor.
Wow. I do want to say, because it's going to be, this interview is, Maja does so much, it's just hard to keep everything. Now, you got to understand, when she sold those 44 homes, she also had a beauty business that she was running.
She was
standing behind the chair, curling hair.
Behind the chair.
Let's just be clear.
So I want to say how significant that is.
Flat ironing.
Honey, flat ironing.
Doing my weave. She was doing my sew-in at the time, which is
Sewing,
how we met.
Cutting, curling.
So, affordable housing advocate. She is also a podcaster. She has her own podcast, The Money Play Show.
Money Play.
Make sure you guys go on YouTube and look for The Money Play Show with Justin Giles. She's the creator and curator of The Dinner at Dusk. And if you haven't been privileged enough to be invited and have a seat at the table, I'm sorry, but hopefully you'll get there.
You will get there. We have some exciting things to share.
Absolutely. And she's also one of the first reality show celebrities that I know. I just want to put it out there. Let's just be clear.
Keisha, I'm going to kill you.
Listen.
Really?
There's a lot of things going on in the world today of reality.
I was like, you know her, Kim? You know her?
Funny.
And if cutting it in the ATL, Google it, you'll find. I'm just saying, when we talk about laying the foundation for where we are today, I'm just saying, won't go into that. But welcome to the Key and Will podcast, Maja Sly.
Happy to be in the seat. I can't wait. Fire away.
Listen. Maja does so much, and it's hard to pinpoint what we're going to talk about. She's a serial entrepreneur.
I am.
But we're going to pick one thing out of her, many things that she does.
Catalog of things.
Yes. I don't know how she does it. We'll talk about that at another time, how she does all these things. But we want to talk about coaching today.
Okay.
And a lot of folks out there know that you're our business coach. You're the one who kicked Key and Will off.
Get out there. Get out there.
Look, can I first of all say, I truly believe the reason Key and Will have been very successful is because of the nuggets that you shared with us very early on and that you've shared just with so many people. But one reason that we've, probably gone down the lane that we have is because when we came to you as our business coach, we were Delanra.
Yeah, that
and Maja
name.
said to us,
No. Let me tell the story. Because I'm going to tell the story.
Before you go into the story, Delanra is Arnold spelled backwards.
I know.
And it's actually...
that it was a great name for our company.
It's actually our parent company name that's in the background.
That's always amazing.
We still have that.
We do.
But when we first came out, we came out with Delanra, and she was like, what's that? Who's going to resonate with that?
Yeah.
So what made you do that? What made you say that, Mike?
Oh my God, you guys, this is so funny. It's so interesting about this, and I'm going to have to correct you, Keisha.
Okay.
Because
All right.
the reason you guys have been so successful is not because of me. It's because you guys trusted the process and you invested in yourself before you ever made a dime in the business. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand, that if you can't afford a coach, you can't afford not to have a coach.
That's right.
That's the biggest thing. If you can't afford a coach, that means that you can't afford not to have a coach, because a coach is going to get you there faster. And you guys, literally, I can't, when I see the things that you do, I'm always like, because to be a part of someone else's success and to see them take the things that you've shared with them and then put their own spin on it, because whatever I do, I teach to the level of what I know. But you guys work in the corporate space, so there's things that you're going to be able to apply, because I've never worked for anyone.
Right.
I'm unhireable. I'm unemployable. I couldn't work for anybody.
Honestly, Maja, I couldn't even see you working a 9 to 5. They were like, "Who is this lady?"
I would be written up all the time.
All over the place.
I would be written up all the time because I am a tyrant. What do you mean you're tired? Me too. Join the club, sister. But that's one of the biggest things for me with coaching is when I find someone, because I don't coach everyone. You guys know this. I only take 10 clients, one-on-one clients a month. And Keisha's leaving out some parts of this story when she tells how Delanra, Keisha came for coaching.
I did.
Willie became a client by default based on food. We connected on food in Florida. So we had a different type of connection.
Right.
And I will take personal responsibility for saving their marriage, because Keisha thought that she was going to quit her job. I
did. I got my license, you guys, and I went to Maja immediately because I knew that she had been extremely successful in the real estate world. And I knew her just as a person. I admired you all, from the moment I met you. You own your own business and you just did some really great things, I feel. And so I knew that I wanted to reach out to you and get some coaching for just guidance.
Right.
If you're an entrepreneur, I recommend you get guidance. You need a business coach as an entrepreneur. But I was also still in corporate America, so I thought, all right, now that I have my real estate license, I'm now an entrepreneur, and I can do the same things Maja did that I saw her do 20 years ago, or however long ago it was.
Yeah.
And she was a reality check for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Don't get fooled by Instagram.
Yeah.
You better not.
You see the glam and the glamour,
not easy.
but Maja has put in the work.
Oh my God.
And we said, Keisha called me. Let me just back up. Man, this is so much to unpack. So Keisha called me, and Maja doesn't even know this. Keisha, because she was following you on the Instagram.
The
Instagram. And she was like, Maja, this is, she's amazing. I know her. Da 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 da.
Actually, when I saw your Instagram post about coaching and how many slots you had left, I was in class.
I know you told me
I was
that.
in my class.
Yeah, you told me
I
that.
hadn't even passed the test yet.
I know.
But I knew that I figured I would. I was hopeful that I would. So I told Will, get a slot because immediately.
Right.
Because I know that when I'm ready and
you'll have it.
I need to be ready before I meet with you. I need to have my ducks in a row. And what is your plan? Like I wasn't going to come before you stepping.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
So she calls me, right? This is funny. I don't know I think you text me and you was like, listen, go on
MajaSly.com.
maja.sly.com.
I was in class, yeah.
Go on maja.sly.com, click on the coaching link and sign up. There's like 2 slots left. So I go on the site and I said, how much is this coaching?
How much is this?
I said,
And that's when I was cheaper then.
I said, don't you know her? Can't you? Then we was like, you know what? No.
Again, I didn't want.
We don't want to hook up.
I didn't want to do that.
We didn't want to hook up. We like,
I didn't
no,
think
we're
that's
going to
right.
pay for the coaching and put in the work.
Yeah.
So I didn't even ask. I was like, okay. So I went ahead and signed up. Boom. And I think you didn't even know Keisha was.
I did not.
Until
no, I didn't even know that it was Keisha who had signed up. Like, I've known Keisha for over 20 years, but I didn't know her new married name. And mind you, they've been married for 100 years now. But I knew her from another last name because I haven't been a hairstylist since 2005.
2000. Yeah,
So
that's right.
So that was when I stopped doing hair. And so when I saw the name come over, it was like a week before. I think Keisha ended up reaching out to me and said, "Hey, you text me," and I was like,
she probably still has the same number.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna text
I've had
her.
the same number for 100 years, and then I was like, "Wait, Keisha," and she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, hey!" And so typically I coach at my office, and I knew you guys lived in Cobb, and I was like, "You know what? Why don't you come over?"
Yeah.
I said, "Just get a bottle of wine." I
Yes.
said, we're gonna freestyle it. I said, I want you to be completely relaxed. And I said, I'm a very unorthodox, unconventional coach. So for people that I know, it's very difficult to coach your friends. It's very difficult to coach your colleagues because they see you as you.
Right.
And they get all of your free information. The same things that I coach, the people who are closest to me do not benefit from it. They don't.
Really?
Oh, no, absolutely not. No, they don't benefit. They don't benefit from my gifts because I'm Maya to them. I'm the same person. I've been this way since I was a kid. Yeah. So they think that I'm always trying to tell them what to do and make them go harder and push. I'm just trying to give you the game that I wish someone had given me. So it's difficult. I've had to learn that everyone does not want to be here. Some people just want to go to work, go home, mind their business, take their 2-week vacation every year, and that's fine. But also, my friends and colleagues don't understand that this is a business of mine. So if I'm just if we're at dinner and we're having a conversation, but if you want me to work with you, you have to pay. And the reason you have to pay because people truly only appreciate the things that they pay for.
Absolutely. 100%.
They don't. They only appreciate, and I've learned this, that people only appreciate the things that they pay for and the things they work for. And this applies, it's all transferable. And I had to learn that the hard way because the people that I have invested the most time in, the most money in, and basically would give the shirt off my back for them to be successful, did the least with it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you pay for something, you show up.
Yeah.
You show up, and we showed up.
Oh yeah, y'all showed up and showed out.
We showed up.
Y'all showed up and showed out.
So I'm glad we didn't half step it trying to get. It's like, no, let's put in the work. Let's pay because Maya is worth it.
Absolutely.
Because We've known Maya for a number of years. I've known Maya for a number of years. Keisha known her probably for decades. but I've known Maya, and Maya, one thing about Maja Sly, she's consistent. She's authentic, and she really cares. And you know what I mean? It's not like she's just trying to do this, and it's like, no, she wants you to succeed.
Absolutely. And I also think that maybe a misconception, I'm not sure if this is the case or not, but because you've been on TV, maybe people think that maybe I can't reach out to her.
Well, they think I'm unapproachable.
She won't respond.
They think I'm unapproachable. Yeah. It's a couple things, and I love it when people say, "You're nothing like I thought you would be," and I'm like,
absolutely.
I'm like, well, how did you think I would be?
We hang out and just
right, but these are people that like I know, like we don't know each other personally, but like we know the same people, like like a 1 degree of separation. So if I'm one of those people, this is coaching, this is business, this is anything. If it's a 1 degree of separation between me and somebody, then I know that person is easy for me to get to. Right. Why am I going to go around the corner to go across the street? Like, why? Yeah. And so when people say to me, "You're nothing like I thought you would be," my first response is always, well, how did you think I was going to be? Because I always look at me first. Like, what am I giving off that would make you think that I would be unapproachable? And you know what the first thing they tell me?
What are they saying?
Oh, I just thought that you because you've been on billboards and buses and TV. I said, but what does that have to do with me? I said, you do know that I paid for those billboards. You do know I paid for those buses, and television was just an opportunity. I did not go on television to be a reality star. I went on television for my business to promote my business my businesses. And if it had not been for television, I would not have seen success in so many other areas, because the television showed me as a businesswoman, not as a stylist, not as a salon owner, but as a business owner. So it grew my hair business, it grew my salon business, it grew my e-commerce business, it grew my speaking engagements. Like what I used to get paid to speak before, my rate went up. Like yesterday's rate was no longer the rate. It was like, oh wait, this is a whole different ballgame.
It's a new day. It's a new day.
Yeah, it was a new day. But I can't impress upon people enough that sometimes the things that you project on other people say more about you than it does about yourself.
Absolutely.
So Maya, what made listen?
That's a word. Please repeat that.
She got so many nuggets.
Repeat that.
No, it is. It's have you ever seen, and in the Black community we love that, who she thinks she is. And I've always told people, I know exactly who I am. You don't know who you are. Because you don't have to question.
Why are you mad?
No, it's not even mad. It is they're unsure about who they are. So they're looking at you, trying to figure out how you did this, how do you do that. They want to pick everything apart instead of, if you spent that same amount of time concerned about you and your situation, you would run laps around me. I've got employees, I've got multiple businesses, I have a lot of balls that I have to juggle. And I wish to God sometimes I didn't have all these desires and dreams, because it is, this now. It's like once you get bitten by the bug,
it's a wrap.
It's it's super difficult to turn that part of your brain off. So coaching is important to me. And you guys say, I care. And I hope that that's what my clients feel. Like, I never care about coaching other real estate agents. Why? One, real estate is the fastest way to 6 figures. A real estate agent commission, your average commission is X. You only have to close X amount of homes to get to this number. So I can take a person to a 6-figure earner, $1 million producer, just like that. When Keisha first sat down with me, I have a formula. And I said, you will sell your first house by this, and you will sell this many houses by this, just based on this, and this.
And it came to fruition. I think the first year, Will has the numbers, the first year, and Will and I were both in corporate America.
Yeah, working full-time jobs.
Right. We, in
a tough market.
We sold 10 homes.
Yeah.
10 to 11. Yeah,
10 to 11 homes, but think about that though. 10 to 11 homes, and you have price points from starter homes to 700,000.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's because people purchase from people they know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust. That's your first.
True.
So when Keisha and I sat down and we did a mastermind session. So let me kind of give you a breakdown of what looks like.
I wanted to ask you
that. Let me just be clear, you guys. When I knew Maya was in my head for at least, like, literally doing my hair.
Yeah.
For, I would say 2 to 3 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Like 4 years before you start traveling a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So I knew her, but I was so nervous. Our first mastermind session, I thought, oh my God, like, I don't know why I was so nervous.
Well, I think we all have that because when you know a person has accomplished certain things and you've seen it happen.
Yes.
Like people,
Yes.
that's what television did for me. People saw it from beginning to end when they follow a story. So when they follow you from beginning to end, that's why villains or people who they root for, it doesn't matter. There's someone out there that is either inspire or you're aspiring to be like. So when we sat down and did Keisha's Mastermind, the reason we didn't go with the name is because it all goes back to my first business, which is beauty. I've always been a branding and marketing person. And I know that made up names cannot be found on Google.
You said that.
You did say that.
You
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah.
You say, how many Google
Or
that?
going to Google
What comes
the
up?
genre.
Yeah,
What comes up?
like, and then you have to explain too much. Well, first of all, my name is Maja Sly, Maya with a J. It's not a made-up name. Maya with a J is a real name. J is pronounced Y in English. But if you Google Maja Sly, what's going to come up is going to always ask you, did you mean Maya with a Y, Sly? Or if you put in Maya Sly, it's going to always correct you because you can Google me. I've been Googleable for decades now, since the internet became something searchable. So when you're trying to build a brand and build a business, I think about the end at the very beginning. So when you fill out a questionnaire with me, I ask you questions, right?
Exactly.
So when you come to me, I already know what we're about to talk about. I already knew Keisha wanted to leave her job. That's why I said, come and bring a bottle of wine, because I wanted her to get it all out. I said, I want her to get it all out. And
she got it out.
I let her, I just let her talk. I just let her talk. I just let her just talk. Because we had a mastermind can go up to 3 hours. It's a 3-hour session because when you leave there, you leave with a plan of action. So even if you don't go into coaching with me, monthly coaching with me, you're going to have a plan that you can go and execute. So if you ever go to conferences and all of these things, if you're an entrepreneur, it's a different world, it's a different animal than corporate. Corporate, you go to, they send you to a conference, they pay for everything. Yeah. But how hard is it when you get back to apply that information with your team? And they're spending thousands of dollars for this. Then you have to go in and you got to fight against the grain because people don't like change. It's the same with coaching. My job is to make you uncomfortable because if you are comfortable, you're not going to be successful.
And you did. You said a lot of things that I was like, but you didn't do that. But I'm trying to compare what I thought your path was.
Right. And you don't know it.
Really not even knowing what it was.
Because you saw.
I'm assuming a lot of things based on social media.
And also people see your highlight reel. You don't see my failures. You don't see how much money I spent on SEO, how much money I spent on all of these things before it ever got here. Most people aren't authentically themselves when they coach because I share my failures and I share my wins and I count them both the same. And I will share this with anybody. Count your wins and your losses the same. I don't relish too long in the wins and I don't stay in the gutter with the losses because off of my losses, that's how I learned how to win. And I get paid for my losses. I teach people on ways, to save you the time.
Real quick, I think more than anything I said, and I tell this to folks who we mentor, we want you to not make the same mistakes we made. Why do you want to make all these mistakes and saying, you know what, let me go to someone who has been there and done that? Yeah. That's one of the reasons we went with Maya, because it's like, Maya, she done made all the mistakes. She's tried and true. I'm going to jump to the front of the line because transparent. And she's transparent. So I don't want to have to make the same mistakes she's made. She say, no, don't go right, go left.
Yeah.
And then we can just get there.
And I think with coaching, a lot of times it's not theory. So a person can write something out and take somebody's coaching program and teach that coaching program. But I always want to know the receipts. Like, show me what you did. Like, show me how you did it. Like, if you can't do that with me, and I don't really coach with people. I've had numerous coaches throughout the years, and I always will have a coach. Like, I'll go in and out of coaching based on what next level I'm trying to get to. I go to masterminds. I go to workshops. At least if it's my goal to go to a minimum of 4 a year. A minimum of 4.
So what you're saying is, as a coach, you also receive coaching.
Oh, you have to. Oh, you better. Yeah, you better. Because if you don't, like, So there's two things. I coach because it makes me a better teacher. When you teach, you learn twice. So I have to correct things or go back to things in other parts of my business when I'm coaching someone, because I'll be triggered like, oh, this will work in this. Like, because numbers can go up and down and anything like that, but it makes me sharper. It makes me more in tune with the market with real estate, because when I'm coaching new real estate agents, especially ones in corporate or ones who are coming from a sales-based profession, you already have clients. So all I'm going to teach you how to do is take that same client base, but now you're going to sell to them, but you're never selling to them. You're only giving them information. You only want to be in service, and the sale will come, because every client and every friend is not ready to buy right now. But that doesn't mean that you won't be top of mind. So,
Exactly.
So what's our system? 555, right?
Yeah.
5 touches.
It's 5 touches.
Boy, I be having nightmares.
Them 5 touches, you got to
5
touch them.
touches.
It's 5 touches, touch. And it is. But I use that program because I remixed a program that I was hugely successful in, but it was 10, 10, 10. And I realized that people give up so fast because when they fall too far behind on the 10, they just quit. But it's easier to hit that 5 or focus on the things that you know. And so I'm really big on best practices.
Yeah, and that's what I love about you, Maya. I think that, a lot of folks ask us, man, should I get a coach? I think I need a coach, and should I pay for a coach? And I tell them straight up, I say, hey, we have to have coaching. Otherwise, again, we're going to be sort of at the back of the line trying to get there. Why can I? It's like you're going to get that money back
10x.
tenfold.
10x.
Tenfold.
10x.
However,
10x.
I will say that is not guaranteed.
No, because you still got to do the work.
You got to do the work.
Yeah.
And people think like, oh, I'm going to get a business coach and all of a sudden I'm going to be, no. Unless Maya can lay out the plan for you, but unless you execute.
Yeah.
Why do you find, Maya, that sometimes people will give up on coaching? So they'll have a session, maybe 2, and then you don't hear back from them.
Well, I think the accountability piece. So some people need accountability. They want accountability, and they really, truly want to get to that next level. And then there's others that say they want it, but they really don't want it. It's like working out. It's like changing your lifestyle with a diet and exercise.
Yeah.
You want that six-pack.
You want results.
But do you really want to not?
Are you willing to do?
Are you willing to work out every day or 5 times a week? Are you willing to cut your portions every single time? Are you really willing to drink water as much as you like? Because it becomes a lifestyle, and so coaching changes your lifestyle. It challenges you on the way that you think about stuff, and your coach is not there to be your friend. Like when I'm coaching you guys, I'm not there to be your friend. I'm there to help you get there.
I was like, I thought you know me.
I do. I love
And
you to death.
You were hard on me.
Oh,
you were
God.
hard on me.
She is, mind you, the hardest person in the world on everybody else. She's a wrangler.
No, but honestly, I would love for people to really understand that even though we had a relationship prior to me getting into you being our business coach.
Right.
You were very clear,
Direct,
and direct with me about certain things.
Yeah.
I had total misconceptions about real estate and doing, quitting my job, and I want a billboard, and I thought it was all this fabulosity.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
I really did.
And most people
Really
do.
did.
They think everything is Instagram. They think that, I want to do all these photo shoots and I'm going to post every day and da-da-da-da-da. Well, do you want to pay for a makeup artist every day? Do you want to get dressed every day? Do you want to go ride and go find all this inventory? Because when you first become an agent, you don't have any listings. But the beautiful thing about you don't have any listings yet.
Zero.
But the beautiful thing about being a licensed agent is you have access to every single house that is listed in the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
The state of Georgia.
Yeah.
So you can go create your content.
Yeah, it's amazing. I just think that, I'm so glad we did coaching.
Oh yeah. I'm
I think
glad
you were the one that kicked it off and was like, yo, sign up. And I was like, okay, because I wasn't, you know what I mean? I didn't really understand the significance
we
of
needed. I knew we needed guidance,
Right.
and it wasn't something that I'm happy that I had the forward thinking enough to know we can't just do this by ourselves.
Right.
Real estate, I think, there's such a misconception about so many people who get into real estate thinking that
They think it's a get rich quick, or
and then you can make some money very quickly. But being in real estate is a very intricate process
and it's not a hustle.
It's not a hustle.
It's not a hustle.
You gotta be smart in this.
Yeah, you got to be smart
industry.
about the way you grow your business. You got to be smart about the way you leverage your relationships. You got to decide, what kind of clients do I want to work with?
Yeah,
all money is not good money.
That's
and one of the things that I really appreciate about you guys, and I can't impress upon this enough to the audience, is your partner can talk you on the ledge or off the ledge. And you have to be clear that when you have a vision for something that you want for yourself, what you guys did is very unique. I told you from the beginning, what did I say? I said, you guys will be able to be braided as a couple, and you can run circles around a single agent, meaning there's women who will do business with Will who don't even like Keisha. They won't like her approach. They won't like that she's very regimented in the way that she does contracts. And Willie is, he's
happy.
He's the good time guy. He's
Did you say good time guy?
Yeah, he's a good, not like a good time girl, but that's funny. But you know what I'm saying? Like he is, but he
You
is.
so right though. You so right.
Yeah, but
You're right.
he's a neutralizer. You know what
I'm
I
the
mean?
neutralizer. Oh, I'm
and
gonna use
so
that.
Keisha's a Sagittarius.
Call me the neutralizer.
Yeah,
From
she's
now
a
on,
Sagittarius.
family.
I'm a Sagittarius.
I'm the
so
neutralizer.
I know that we are very specific types of people, and you either love us or you don't enjoy us at all.
Maya, I do want to say, you have a gift. I don't know. You can meet somebody in 10 minutes or less, and you'd be like, oh, boom, boom, boom. This is the type of person they are, and
But that came from coaching.
Yeah,
that came from coaching.
I have a question though about how did you. So a couple of questions that maybe you can kind of pull it all together.
Okay.
How did you decide that, number one, you were credentialed enough to become a coach? And number two, why? Why did you want to give that back? Because I'm appreciative that you gave it.
Well,
that you gave it to me, but how did you even get into that?
Well, I got into coaching from television. Coaching from television, but my credential, I always tell people, I'm certified by a higher power.
Ooh.
Because I have, I really am.
Maya.
And so,
Oh,
I'm
that's
serious.
major what you just
so.
said.
So, if people follow me on Instagram, they always hear me say my ministry. And my brother used to always tell me, he said, you could have been a preacher, you just cursed too much. And I said, I know, right? But I've been this way my entire life, and I was this way out of necessity, out of survival, out of circumstance. Right. But I became a problem solver, and I have critical thinking skills.
You do.
Amazing skills.
Think my way out of anything. Like if I can just center myself, I can think my way through it, because there's nothing too big. If God put it in my heart, the provision is already there. I just got to think my way through how I can get there. And so I don't look at big problems as one big problem. I break it down into small pieces that I can chop off. And so that came from just life experiences and growing up in poverty. Like poverty teaches you how to think. Poverty teaches you how to be resourceful. Poverty teaches you how to stretch a meal, how to really figure things out for yourself. And the things that I loved to do growing up were very expensive. We could not afford them. Yeah. And so I had to figure that out if I wanted to continue to do it, because my grandmother was like, ain't nobody doing that. Nobody's doing that. So from that, when you say that's my gift, that is my gift. I know God gave me that gift, because people will ask me, well, how did you know how to do this? I didn't. It was given to me. I just knew how to be a good steward of it.
Yeah, and I see that. Obviously, we work with you not only personally, as for business, but we know you, and that is a gift. Every time we meet with Maya, I be like, how does she think of that? Like, how does she? How does she?
I wish I knew sometimes.
Honestly, you said it right. It's a gift. It's a gift from the
It
Creator.
is. It's some things are my gift, and then some things are from experience, and it could have come from another situation, but it can be applied, right? And so when you say I can meet a person, I say, well, this is this, and this. This came from over 20 years in personal development. I've spent money in personal development for 20 plus years because in the beauty industry, I came from a trade profession, but my degree is in finance. So I have a degree, but I worked in a trade field. So you don't have a lot of peers. So they weren't thinking how I was thinking. And it was like, they were like, girl, we just trying to like curl some hair and make some money. And, like they just were like, what are you talking? And I was so young when I started. I was a business owner. I opened my first salon at 24.
Yeah,
and
you sure did.
And the closest person in age to me was 8 years my senior. So I'm 24 and I got people from 32 to 40 plus working for me in an industry where they don't like to pay their bills on time. Well, you have to pay me on time or you can't work in my space. And so most people wouldn't even be able to own their own agency in that way. The reason I could is because I've been wrangling adults since I was a child. So you're not about to work for me and come in and out of my place and not pay me. Right. You pay me first because if you don't pay me, you can't pay your bills at home. Yeah. So I've been coaching people as a business owner, as a business owner for free, like trying to show them how to get a house, all of those things. So my credential is certified by a higher authority. But how I came into coaching was from the television show because people were calling me because my number is online, right?
How did that happen, Maya?
Right. So when you would Google, when they would Google the 800 number, I would answer the phone. And they would be like, is this Maya? I'm like, yeah. I can't believe you answered the phone. I'm like, why not? I'm like, this is my business. Why wouldn't I answer the phone? And it's so crazy when I would look at the show. I'm like, well, you always see me on the phone in the show.
Exactly.
So I don't think they realize that
you're a real person.
It's not. It wasn't produced. I'm actually on the phone because I didn't do hair. I didn't do hair anymore. I had retired from behind the chair in 2005. So the only reason I started
the show aired
in 2015.
Yeah.
So I had been from behind the chair for a decade. But when people were calling me and they just wanted to tell me all of their business problems and wanted to know how I could help them, I was just like, girl, I'm not about to sit on the phone and talk to you about your business all day. And I said, you know what? I had a coach. I was like, I'm just going to come up with a package and put it on my website because I already had a personal brand website. I said, because I'm a speaker, I'll just coach a few people. And if I put a price to it, then I don't have to stay on the phone with them. I'll say, I can politely, because people were introduced to me from television. I don't want them to think that I'm a raging, can I curse?
No, my.
Oh, I don't want them to think that I'm just, a mess.
Lord.
But I can't sit on the phone and talk to strangers all day. Like I had a business. I had 46 employees. How could I do that? That was not possible. Like I have a business in real life. And literally the television show put us in people's living rooms. Right. We were the number one show in our time slot with non-celebrity casts in every major market.
And I believe, we've talked about reality shows quite a bit, in our time together. But at that time, reality was really reality.
Yeah.
Like what you saw was really real.
And let me explain to
really
y'all this.
real.
To tell you how crazy the show was for my coaching business, they would be like, Maya, there's people outside of the salon taking pictures. And I would be like, I'm like, wait, what? They were wondering if you could come outside and take a picture.
It's crazy.
I'm like, are they getting their hair done? They were like, no. I was like, then why would I be going outside? They wanted to know if it was a real business because they said they had seen where they did a grand opening for a business on a show, and then they went there and there was nothing there.
Yeah, that happens.
And it wasn't.
today.
And it wasn't real.
It wasn't
So
real.
I realized that, if I put a number to this, this will limit the number of people that I have to communicate with. This makes it respectful that I have to release the line, respect my time, and then I'll know who's serious. And then after I started, the show premiered in May. By July, I was coaching about 30, 40 people a month.
Wow.
And I was like, wait a minute. Like, I was like, I don't have time for this. So I restructured it in a way when I realized how much money it was in the coaching space, because people would come to me and they would always say, well, I've coached with this person, coached with that person. And they'll tell me all these things that went wrong. And I'm like, okay, but you didn't check anything about them. So I'm not going to convince you to work with me. Like, either you want to work with me or you don't. But we will have an onboarding call that you pay for, and then I will decide if I want to work with you. Yeah. That's how this works. Yeah, I don't take every client.
You do have to control the situation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because you'll end up getting all kinds of
And people don't want to take
situations.
responsibility for what they didn't do.
Right.
So that's why most people who coach with me, they have a mastermind session first. Because if you have a mastermind, at least with that, you'll be able to have a plan that you can go and execute, and you can go make money. But if you go into monthly coaching with me, if I have an opening, then that's when you're going to see exponential growth, because you're going to be accountable for 3 months. And in 90 days, my guarantee is I'm going to increase your revenue by 20%. Because I'm going to find the money where you're already at.
Wow.
That's it. That's the simplest
Maya always
formula.
she say, I'm going to find the money.
I do have a question, though. If we, as we wrap this podcast, I would ask you, what do you think is one of the key characteristics of a person that you see as being successful in your clients that you have coached?
My most successful clients are people who execute. And that's it. Okay. That's the difference. They're just executors. Meaning doers. They do what they say they're going to do, and they make a commitment even when it's hard to see it through. Like, to see it through. Like, your every deal is not, you can have a contract. I had 2-3 contracts in the past 5 days fall apart. That's right. And I'm a seasoned agent.
But it doesn't have anything necessarily.
But do you want to know why they fell out? Because their agent had them pre-approved with another lender who had not verified their documents. And they have to go through our lender in order for me to take the property off the market. Take it off the market. What happened? Those are the 3 deals that fell through because they went with other lenders. And then once they got to my lender, there was more questions that needed to be asked. There was more documentation, and a pre-approval isn't worth the paper it's written on. So when I coach real estate agents, I teach them how not to make those mistakes, because you'll be riding clients around and wasting your time.
Absolutely.
And gas was $5 a gallon.
Listen, hello.
And in the pandemic. So we didn't have that kind of time.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, we don't have time to be catching COVID with you, and you can't get to the closing table. And out of gas. So one of the key, my clients take a personality test now. So
that's right.
They take a personality test.
That was great for us.
And so when you take that personality test, I'm able to determine who is the weakest link when it's a group. So I'll have teams that coach as a group, and I know whose gifts are where, so that way we don't both need to be doing the same job.
Right, absolutely.
And so when I say you guys, your situation is very unique, meaning most men specifically, my male clients are hugely successful. Hugely successful.
More so than women.
Yeah, you know why?
Why?
Because they don't spend their time talking about no man on the phone with me.
Right.
Yeah, when they know I'm a type A, and I'm a high D. So on the DISC assessments, a D, I, S, and C. I'm a high D, so I do very well with male clients, but male clients who respect dominant women, meaning they can appreciate a woman who's going to push them, right?
Sure.
But at the same time, when it's a couple, if the man always has to be right, or he doesn't want to see the woman make more money than him, he will sabotage the situation.
Ooh,
Yeah.
It's a problem.
we're not doing that.
Yeah,
We're not
but
doing
you
that.
will be surprised. I have one of my most successful clients from the beauty space. One of my most successful clients from the beauty space has 8th grade education. Lapped everybody who ever purchased a franchise brand of mine. Do you know her husband sabotaged the entire business because she went from making $400 a week to coaching with me. What she had to do was to get to $1,000 a week before she could quit her job. That was our goal, to get her there. Got her there. She opened up a walk-in weaves. Killed it.
Killed it.
$10,000 a week gross revenue.
That's some.
$10,000 a week in a small market. The husband sabotaged everything because he was working 3 jobs, college educated, was an engineer, worked at the radio station part-time, and worked at a fitness center part-time. With those 3 jobs, he wasn't making $10,000 a month. She came in with an 8th grade education and did
She executed.
And all she did was execute.
And she was driven, I'm sure.
Yeah, she was driven. She was purposeful. But do you know she now coaches? And she only coaches at the level that she knows. And if she doesn't know it, she sends them to me. She holds more retreats. She holds more retreats than I do.
That's awesome.
She's one of my most successful clients in the beauty space. So I coach because of the industries that I've been in. Beauty and real estate, those are the 2 that are drawn to me the most. But the ones who make the most money are my stylists, that I take them from being a stylist from behind the chair and put them in real estate or insurance, because those are the 2 fastest industries to make 6 figures and then scale their business, or corporate or sales who go into real estate.
Right.
Those are,
Right.
and so those are people who are self-starters and driven. So you got to be a self-starter, you got to be driven. I can lay it all out for you,
Self-starter.
but you got to do it.
Listen.
Accountability.
She said it's two things: a self-starter and driven.
Yeah.
So listen, I always ask, where can we find you? But it's only one Maja Sly.
That's only one.
It's only one.
MAJA.
Google MajaSly.com.
Yeah.
Listen, Maya,
are all over the
we could
place,
talk.
my friend.
We could talk. We could talk all day.
We can do what
We
is
can
what is Shannon's he just sits there and they just chat. It just goes for hours. Yeah,
hours.
we can talk about business for hours.
Listen, Maya, you have a wealth of knowledge, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you guys
'Cause listen,
for having me.
Coaching is so important. We are witnesses. Our success,
Walking testimonials.
has been because of coaching. It puts you to the front of the line. You don't have to make those mistakes. And what you think, babe?
I just appreciate, Maya, that you invested in yourself
Oh, me too.
to give back to others.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So to me, that means a lot, right? That you put out and did so much for yourself just because you're a driven individual anyway.
And I wanted to skip the line too.
And
I wanted to skip the line too. I was like, I'm always, how much do I need to pay to get me there
Yes.
faster?
Listen,
You got to
whatever
move with
you
a
do.
sense of speed and urgency. And I'm going to have a takeover spirit, and we're going to close out by people understanding that this podcast idea, this right here, they lapped their coach. They lapped me. This was an idea that we did in a strategy session, and they lapped me and premiered before I did, because you guys executed and you moved with the speed of urgency. Like, you knew that I want to get there faster. And I told you, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to.
You did.
I've spent 10x on production. So sometimes the coach has to be coached by getting out of their own way. And I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to do at a very high level, but I could have done the same thing in my basement downstairs. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, like, just know that we all still make mistakes. We all still are growing and wanting to stretch ourselves. But what you guys have been able to do in your real estate career in this short amount of time, don't let it be lost on you, because the average agent is out of the business. In the first year, we lose 25% of our agents.
Wow.
Yeah, they
realize
they
that.
don't renew because the fees. They don't realize you got to pay lockbox fees. You got to pay.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Those
It's a lot that
those-
goes on.
Yeah, those FMLS fees, those
like,
those
man.
those board fees, all of those
right.
fees, and
If you're making no money,
no one's going to teach you for free. Like your broker, that's not their job. Their job is not to give you clients. They're going to have workshops and seminars, and they'll bring some people in, but no one's going to hold your hand.
Absolutely.
So this is why I tell
Yeah.
people, do not quit your job until you are able to match your salary 150 times. So if you make 100,000 on your job, you need to replace that by 150,000 before you leave real estate. The first year, those 44 houses, I was still standing behind a chair curling hair.
Yes, you
the
were.
second year, still standing behind 70-something houses, still standing behind the chair curling hair. It wasn't until the third year when I was at $500,000 a year in sales that I really realized,
oh, okay.
no, because I was making 200,000 a year doing hair. It was hard to leave that money.
Right.
But I left the money to make my first million. I didn't make my first million in beauty. I made my first million in real estate, but I had to leave beauty to go make my first million to
that you
come
could focus.
back to beauty. To come back to beauty to make the million because I needed the business acumen from that level. So you got to use everything. Use everything. Use
Yeah.
all of it.
Listen, these are but a few nuggets.
Just
a few nuggets.
Just a few.
Just a few, and I know that you will come back and share so much more.
I
Because
can't wait.
you have poured so much into Key and Will,
Oh, you
into
guys.
our brand, into who we are, into how we execute, into our success. You know, we've been in this real estate market for a few years, and I never expected the success rate that we've achieved. Like, we'll look at the numbers and we're like, wait, that's
You're like, I made all this money.
Wait.
You're like, look at all that money. Yeah, because
Yeah.
but you guys
Yeah.
invest in yourselves, and you see how fast it goes when you invest in yourself
But I
too.
also appreciate, as our business coach, that you keep us focused. You keep us realistic. You keep us goal driven. And you have very specific things. It's not like, oh, let's just get together and have a conversation. I know that a lot of times you guys may see us having
Drinking.
a whole good time with Maya. But it is, don't be fooled.
Our dinners are 3 hours. They're always
Don't
3
be
hours.
fooled, because there is a lot of very structured conversation that occurs between the three of us, and there's not a way that we could have been successful without a lot of that conversation. And I appreciate you. I know that Will does. We appreciate you for our marriage. We'll talk about that too. Listen,
That'll
we'll
be
talk
part,
about
that'll
that
be part
too.
2. I'm
We'll talk
the
about
marriage
that too.
whisperer.
Yes, absolutely. But thank you so much for what you
Thank
have
you, guys.
provided us.
Thank
and
you.
the success that you have, guided our steps to be. So thank you.
You
very
guys make me
much.
so proud. Like that, I'm serious. It's like that's my biggest reward. It's like being an educator. Like when you see someone go out there and just be successful from just the things that you shared with them, because I didn't do the work. Y'all did the work. Like that to me is worth everything. Coaching is one of all the businesses that I do outside of affordable housing, being an advocate for affordable housing. Coaching is one of the most rewarding things that I do. I get so much out of it.
Wow, you heard it.
Very successful client.
Now, Maya only got a couple slots, so do like Key and I did. You better sign up quick. But Maya, thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. You are amazing.
Thank you, guys.
And I continue, I'll end with this. They say you are your circle.
Yeah.
And I feel like since we've gotten your presence and just sort of, it's a mindset. In coaching, if I could just say what the fundamental thing is, to change your mindset. You have to change your mindset, and you have to get it in the room with folks like Maja Sly to really have you just say, no, I can really do this. So Maya, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
MajaSly.com. Find her on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. She's everywhere.
The Money Play Show.
The
Make
Money
sure you
Play
guys subscribe
Podcast.
to her podcast with Justin.
It's amazing. Dope.
Absolutely.
Yes. Y'all got to check out the Money Play.
We got some heat coming.
Oh, it's the heat. It's the heat.
But make sure you like, subscribe, comment on this.
Share.
Yes, and yes, absolutely share on this podcast. Our intent is to bring you guys so much information that you may not have known before, because the concept is when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
Yes!
We out. Key and Will, baby. Let's go.